Hello there, welcome back to the show. Apologies we've not been around for a while. We've actually been working on something pretty big, and I can see how excited you look to hear about it, so just hold on and I'll explain everything shortly. Many of you will already know that recently we packed up everything in the UK and moved out here to start a new life in Portugal. There's now more than 1 million of us foreign citizens living out here in Portugal. That accounts for about 10% of the Portuguese population. I know there'll be a lot of people that are very angry about migration, and I'm not here to talk about any of that stuff. This is not going to be one of those videos, so I'm going to skip around that frickin' minefield because, to be honest, I've grown quite attached to my legs. So we'll leave that discussion for another day. Moving to Portugal hasn't been easy. In fact, it's been probably one of the hardest things that we've ever done.
What I didn't expect was how sort of turbulent, I guess, it feels at first. You think you're just going to land and be like, yeah, this is great. It's completely different. You're completely out of your comfort zone, and I don't know, it takes a while to kind of find your feet, I guess.
In this video, we're going to talk about what it's really like to move your family to Portugal, covering everything from cost of living to housing to education, all the stuff that we wish somebody had told us about before we moved here. So yeah, sit back, relax, put your comfy pants on, and we'll take it from here. Yes. Oh, and huge thanks to our sponsor, Wise. They were such a big part of our move out here, and they've kindly offered all of you either a free Wise card or a fee-free transfer of up to £500. All the links are in the description. Anyway, let's get on with it. Enjoy the show.
Part 1. Why Portugal? What's pulling everyone, including us, to Portugal? For starters, the Portuguese are probably some of the friendliest people you could ever meet, aren't they? They're
so nice, so welcoming, and very forgiving when you get words wrong. And
yeah, they are.
Little naked people.
They're skinny dippers.
Good for them.
Hannah and I have come out for a hike today. We're doing a new hike we've not done before, which is from Portugal to Salima. It's got one of the lowest violent crime rates in the whole of Europe, so it's one of the safest countries. It's way more chill, and there's not as much of a hustle culture.
I feel like you definitely feel that as well. Everyone just seems more relaxed, and the values are different than England. I think is the main thing for me that I really like.
They don't seem to be so driven, to make money. There's sometimes you're like, well, you can make loads of money if you just did that thing, and they're like, well,
I don't need any money for my life.
Exactly. The slower pace of life is a big part of living out here, and that does take some getting used to. And it's not easy always, especially coming from a hyper-optimized, always-on culture. What's that phrase they have out here, talvez amanhã or something? I've ruined that. I'm sorry, anyone Portuguese watching, but basically it just means maybe tomorrow. Yeah, which kind of sounds romantic until your water pipe bursts.
Or you want your kids to join a club and no one replies to you.
Yeah.
For months.
Yeah, there's a surf class that Hannah's trying to get the kids into. She emails them almost every day saying, can I please give you some money so my kid can start the surf class? And he just doesn't reply. But once you stop fighting it, it's just got this kind of magical feeling. Anyone who's ever been to Portugal will know there's this kind of magical feeling.
It is a real go with the flow.
Yeah.
Things take longer, but who cares? Kind of energy.
So that's what draws most people here, I think. Part 2, so you've made the decision, now what? We actually decided to move, it's about 2 years before we physically moved out here. We spent so long in R&D mode, trying to smooth out the transition. The first thing you have to do if you plan to move out here, even if you it's a loose plan in the back of your head, you may as well start it now because it's worth doing anyway, downsizing.
I actually found that so therapeutic. And just
going to the dump
for the soul. And I actually wish that I had been more brutal. I feel like I need to continue downsizing now that we're here.
Yeah.
You know for example, I packed how many winter coats, and we've just moved to the Algarve, and you maybe need one winter coat for the whole winter.
I've lived in one pair of shorts, the same pair of shorts the whole time I've been out here, pretty much.
You need to get rid of your whole wardrobe. Yeah. Anyone want to buy all Steph's clothes?
Yeah.
Give us a message.
I found it quite hard to downsize, but then I sort of just told myself the only value that these things have, the value that I'm sort of giving them. So once I kind of cut that, I was like, it doesn't have value, Steph, you only think it does. That really helped. Throwing away old cables, ex's pants from 1997. It's all quite heart-wrenching throwing stuff, or not throwing stuff away, but giving stuff away and getting sort of shedding it. But at the same time, once you've done it, you feel really liberated. So yeah.
Again, I do think that's quite a cultural thing for us. We're kind of taught from a young age to accumulate, and that's your wealth. And you have to kind of retrain your brain to be that's not wealth, that's just stuff.
My advice to anyone wanting to downsize is just be brutal. See the things that you own as like strings that are kind of like tying you down to this life, and the more strings that you cut, the more freedom that you feel. So yeah, honestly, the downsizing phase was such a big part of the process, but it really gets you mentally prepared for the next phase. This is a big one. Get your finances in order. The pound to euro rate is all over the place at the moment. A few weeks ago, £1 would get you about €1.24, and now it's about €1.17. How do I know that? Because I get daily updates from Wise.
You're obsessed with that, aren't you?
Yeah, I get my daily
tells
updates.
me every day.
It's 1:14.
Guess what it is today?
Yeah. Wise gives you the real exchange rates, the exact ones that you'll see like on Google and stuff. Banks, what they'll do is they'll normally like like cheeky markups on the rate, meaning that you're quietly going to lose a bit of money every time you swap pounds to euros or dollars or whatever. But with Wise, it's completely transparent, no sneaky stuff. They're crystal clear. You know exactly what you're paying up front. Trust me, when you're juggling multiple currencies and transfer rates, you just want everything to be as straightforward as possible. So yeah, Wise is a lifesaver if you need to keep on top of your budget. It just makes living abroad that much simpler and cheaper. There's a link below to check it out, and they'll even give you a free Wise card, or you can claim a fee-free transfer of up to £500 if you use our link.
It's pretty tasty.
Right, now, big announcement time. I've been working on this so hard, and I cannot wait to tell you about this because I'm very proud of it.
The ADHD in Steph has this, it's like, if you know anyone with ADHD, this type of ADHD, you can hyper focus on something really obsessively, and that is what he has done for the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
Yeah, 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah, just
There'll be
hyper-focused.
evenings where I have to literally tear you away from your computer because I'm like, you need to sleep.
Okay, let me tell you about it, Kate. We've been quiet for quite a bit on the channel lately, and it's because we've been working on actually 3 really big things behind the scenes. I'm going to tell you about the first one. It's called PortugalMadeSimple.com. If you're thinking about visiting or moving to Portugal, this could save you so many hours of stress and confusion. I built this like one-stop shop hub that I wish we had when we moved. You got an AI assistant who's trained to answer anything about like either visiting or living in Portugal. It's got step-by-step relocation guides, it's got travel tools, language resources, even a flight and hotel and activity booking built right into the site. And my favorite part is actually a blog post that our kids just wrote for it about moving to Portugal, which is pretty funny, so I'll link that below. Here's the twist. I built the whole thing, get this, without writing one single line of code. I basically just told an AI agent what I wanted it to do, and then I sat back and I just watched it build this site, the whole site, from scratch. Here's why I'm telling you that, because most people who want to move to Portugal apply for something called a D7 visa, which requires a passive income of about €800 a month. And that's when it hit me when I was making this thing. I was thinking, why not teach people how to build passive income websites just like Portugal Made Simple, or Blackout Cards, or Grace and Ashes? These are things anyone could build if you know how. You don't need any coding experience. Anyway, I created a brand new Skool community where I'm going to teach people exactly how to build websites like this. It's basically got lessons on building passive income, drop shipping, print-on-demand stores. It's got a full AI prompt library, step-by-step tutorials for creating automations that run your business and your socials on autopilot. I'm even going to have weekly Zoom classes so I can check out what everyone's been building, and then we can all work together and launching these things.
If you're thinking like, oh, well, I don't have a passive income, so I can't apply for a D7 visa, this course was designed to help anyone create a passive income. So that will no longer be an excuse. Will it, Ruth?
Huh?
Never mind.
So yeah, PortugalMadeSimple.com is the first announcement. Steph's Side Hustle Studio on Skool is our second. So, Hannah, what is the big third announcement?
We have decided that we are going to be hosting our first retreat this November. So we're going to do like a well-being reset retreat for 4 nights in the Algarve, Western Algarve. The idea is just to come down to the Algarve, we'll scoop you up from the airport. Everything is kind of planned already, your food's all taken care of. There's daily yoga, there's hikes, beach day, pottery, market. So yeah, just a really chill few days with a select group of people to reset.
Yeah, I think
we're in the perfect spot for it.
Yeah.
And we've weirdly met the perfect people to bring it to life.
It's all serendipity, isn't it,
It
kiddo?
really is strange how that happens when you have an idea and then before you know it, someone steps in like, oh, I could do this for you.
Yeah.
Or I could do this for you. And you're like, hang on a minute, this is weird.
Yeah, it's great. We'll link that down below anyway if you want to be on like an email for any announcements about it. So you could, if you want to book that and hang out with us for a couple of days and do some cool stuff. Yeah, let us know. So yeah, those are our 3 big things. Portugal Made Simple, Skool Community, and GlowState Retreats. Hey, Rue. Ruben. Okay, this is one of the biggest questions that everyone asks. Where should I live in Portugal? It's very different for every person, so it's hard to say, this is the one region you should move to.
It really depends what you're looking for and what your circumstances are and, The
Algarve, you've got the sunny beaches, the huge expat community, but it's more expensive down here. Lisbon is beautiful. Great food, but again, expensive and pretty intense with kids, I reckon. Porto's a bit cooler, that's a bit cheaper as well, touristy, but much more moody weather. Silver Coast, like down the side of Portugal, you've got Nazaré and stuff like that. The stunning coastline, great surf and stuff like that, a bit affordable, more quieter. Madeira, we nearly moved there, didn't we?
We did.
One of my favourite things.
I still want to go there actually, like soon.
5% corporation tax rate, that's drawing a lot of people in. Tempted me. Yeah, we loved Ericeira, which is one of our favourite places, but that was a bit too expensive. So yeah, we actually ruled out the Algarve, didn't we? We were like, we can't really afford to live down there. I don't think we got the budget for it, but then you found this place.
I did.
And then we had to, completely gut it. It kind of depends on your lifestyle and your budget and your tolerance for mosquitoes and power cuts.
And if you want to surf or if you like the city life.
Yeah.
If you have kids.
On Portugal Made Simple, there's a blog post about it as well, talking about each different region, pros and cons of each one, and also you can ask the AI agent as well. Tell them your situation and where would be best for you. Most people will rent while they're looking for somewhere to live, and they'll just live in different areas.
We saw a lot of different places. Everywhere's got a different vibe, though.
Yeah.
So it really depends what it is you're looking for, and I feel like for us, we kind of only been to the Algarve twice. I think it just felt right for us.
Yeah, totally.
Everything kind of lined up in a way that we were like, it's kind of perfect.
Yeah, you got to trust the universe sometimes.
There is a nationwide power outage across all of Portugal and Spain right now, so we are unable to do any work. Some people think it's a cyber attack. I'm not sure.
Okay, let's talk about visas. If you're not an EU citizen, then your options are a golden visa. Still exists now for capital investment, not property. Ideal if you're minted, but tough luck for the rest of us scumbags. You got your D7 visa, perfect for passive income earners. Check out my Skool community to help out with that. Got a D2 visa for freelancers, entrepreneurs and business owners. D8 visa, digital nomads working abroad but living here.
Everything that you've seen so far in this video, you can download as a free Moving to Portugal guide, like a PDF guide. All you do, go to the Portugal Made Simple website. You'll see at the top there's a place you can put your name and email. Pop that in. I'll send you a completely free bird's eye view synopsis of what's involved in moving to Portugal. Everything on Portugal Made Simple, the information or the guides, everything, it's all completely for free. There's no paywalls, there's no shopping carts to sell you anything. I don't want any money. I also want to say something. There's going to be, I know I've been doing this job for almost 15 years now. I know there'll be a lot of people getting ready to write some sort of catty comments or scathing comments about this direction that I've decided to go in. And I just want you to know that I don't care. I'm in my mid-40s, man. I'm past caring. If I cared at my age, I'm doing something wrong. I'm bordering on the Crocs and socks stage of life, all right? So just know that. And besides, if I piss off 1,000 people by doing this and helping people move out to Portugal, but make one family take the leap into the unknown and do it and radically improve their lives, then for me, that is worth it. Grab your free guide. It's on the website. Just give me your name and email and I'll send it straight over to you. Back to the show. It's now 8 o'clock at night and we have not had electric or water or internet for, 8 hours.
Do you think they will get it back tomorrow?
I'm hoping we're going to wake up and it'll be back.
Nobody knows.
Jobs and business. Portugal's unemployment rate dropped to about 6.2% in January 25, the lowest in 2 years, but there is a catch. Wages still remain low here, pushing many young Portuguese abroad. About 40% of grads leave for better opportunities. The government introduced incentives to encourage young professionals to stay, like 100% income tax relief for your first year if you're under 35. If you do plan to try and find work here, it's more likely you're going to find it in places like Lisbon and Porto. The good news is education in Portugal is far more affordable than it is in the UK. Public schools here are completely free, including textbooks, and many even offer free after-school care.
I think that's one of the main things that most people ask me about.
Is it?
Yeah.
So you've got a few different options. You've got private schools, international schools and state schools. There seem to be the three main options, don't they?
I've heard very good things about the Portuguese schools.
Yeah, there's pros and cons to putting your kid in a Portuguese school. We've got ours in a bilingual school, so they're learning Portuguese and English. We only put them in that school because it's down the road from us. It was just so easy. If it was if it was a Portuguese school, we would have put them in a Portuguese school, but it was just location-wise. It was just down the road. Childcare is much cheaper out here. If your kids are younger, creches and nursery style childcare cost about €500 a month normally, about £419. It's not nothing, but it's definitely a lot cheaper than what we were paying in London, wasn't it? Bloody hell. Prices vary quite a lot with internationals. They start about €6,000 a year, about £5,000, and they normally increase as the kids get older, or depending on how posh the school is. Some top schools.
You do sometimes get a little cheeky discount for a second sibling.
Oh yeah,
though.
but like 5% or something.
Still,
yeah.
it all adds up.
Yeah. The internationals in Lisbon and Algarve can be quite expensive, but overall it's still far more affordable than private schools in the UK, especially now you're paying the VAT on that as well. One huge benefit of public schooling is your kids are picking up Portuguese much quicker. Hey Rufus, do you know any Portuguese yet?
Antigo, dois, tigo, tres, also, dois, also, tres, also.
Well, very good.
Crocodilo, and then I don't know.
And then you
Wow.
can sing Freira Jaca in Portuguese as well, can't you?
Yeah, but I forgot.
Let's talk about politics and Portuguese political landscape. It feels actually really mellow out here compared to the chaos we left behind. There's two main parties basically. There's the Socialist Party, which leans centre-left, and there's the Social Democratic Party, which, despite the confusing name, is like centre-right. I know it's weird, it's just roll with it. Both parties are pro-EU, they support the welfare state and generally play nicely within a market economy. You don't get like aggressive polarity or tabloid-fueled sort of hysteria like we get in the UK.
How do you know that?
Well, it feels like a bit like a spa break out here, to be honest, politically compared to the UK. Let's talk about Portuguese culture. The culture out here is one of the main draws for so many of us. They care about family and community. There's just like a slower, grounded rhythm to life out here. People are polite, they're understanding, they're super nice to us foreigners. Like you don't get any sort of, bar a couple of people, like you don't get any sort of like low-key hostility that I can understand. They might be swearing at me in their language and telling me to go away, but I don't understand what they're saying. I just think they're being nice and complimenting my hairstyle. Yeah, they're really tolerant, quite conservative in how they are, but that's a good thing, I think. Traditions run deep. The bureaucracy is legendary here. There's a saying like, why have one form when you can have 18?
Oh my gosh, don't. I've got so many bits of paperwork.
I know, they love the paperwork
and
and forms.
I haven't necessarily filed them in all the right things.
Oh God,
because you know when we go to somewhere and I just stuff it all in because they kind of want to get you out as soon as you're finished. And then so I've stuffed it all into one thing and I don't know what any of it is.
But like I said, there's a magic to this space, and magic to this country, and anyone who's ever been to Portugal will understand how magical this place is. It just hits different. There's something about it, something in the air. I just can't sing its praises enough. If you're going to move to Portugal to think you're going to save your money on taxes, you're not, unless you move to Madeira, which has the 5% corporation tax rate. Actually, I think there's more, you end up paying a little bit more tax out here than you would in the UK, but they do have an agreement with the UK that you won't be double taxed, which is quite handy. So if you're earning income in the UK, then they won't tax it again out here. Residents here that live here 183 plus days a year must declare their global income. Non-residents only pay tax on income earned in Portugal. Income tax bands range from about 13% up to 53%, the highest being reserved for top earners, obviously. Unlike the UK, cash is still king out here. Most restaurants, well, not most, but pretty much 50% of restaurants probably won't take cards, they just accept cash.
Lots of other businesses as well, though.
Yeah,
It's just cash.
Cash is king in
that.
Portugal, for sure. They're not getting rid of the cash anytime soon. They love cash out here. We've been caught out a few times, like not having enough cash.
But one thing that is really nice actually is that if you are local and they recognise you, you can say, oh, can I come down and give it to you tomorrow? And they're like, yeah, it's cool.
We got power back. Came back last night about 3 a.m. I think it was. All the lights turned on.
You slept through it.
Oh yeah, you woke me up to be like, the lights are on, Steph. And
I had an eye mask on and I still woke up.
yeah. Come on, Grace, yeah. Yeah, it's good to have energy back. But we were fine because we got blackout cars. May have been dark everywhere else, but our living room was lit. Oh yeah, buy some blackout cars just for that.
Wait, my bag.
Just for that joke. Right, let's go. Come on, you guys.
Cost of living. People say Portugal is far cheaper than the UK or US, and in some ways it is, but in others it's not. Groceries, for instance, seem to be about a third pricier here. Maybe it's because we still eat like we ate in the UK. We spend about between 150 to 200 euros a week on groceries out here. That is the only thing that's really more expensive, I'd say, in Portugal is the grocery shopping. I think the UK is actually quite cheap compared to like America. Oh yeah, and cars and grocery shopping. Cars are about a third more as well out here. An organic fillet steak at Sainsbury's back home was about £8. Here it's closer to 20 euros. A Twix in the UK, 85p. Here it's like €1.75. House prices have also risen significantly. Cars are far more expensive thanks to import taxes, but they do hold their value, so that's good. We are planning on actually buying a car out here, but apparently they're much cheaper up north, so we might have to do a trip up north to get one. But I think that would be a wise decision. Speaking of wise decisions, hopefully by now you've applied for your free Wise card. Oh, that was smooth. 160 countries, 40 currencies, pay and withdraw cash worldwide without any foreign transaction fees, and you get a debit card to spend online. If you haven't clicked that link already, then you need your head checked because, well, you probably got nits.
When we moved to Portugal, Wise became a total lifesaver. I used it to send over our house deposit in euros, and unlike the bank, which would have quietly shaved off a beefy chunk with a shoddy exchange rate, Wise gave me the exact rate I saw on Google. No nasty surprises, just a small fee I could see up front before hitting send. Now I get paid in euros straight into my account, and when I need to swap to pounds, I do it in the app in seconds at that same rate. Even day to day, the Wise debit card has been brilliant. Tapping to pay at the supermarket or petrol station without getting smashed by hidden fees. It's made juggling multiple currencies feel effortless. But don't take my word for it, check it out for yourself. You know where the links are.
Moving your stuff from the UK to Portugal, you'll need a Certifico de certificate.
Don't try and pronounce.
Basically a baggage certificate from the Portuguese consulate to import your belongings tax-free. As long as you've owned them for at least 6 months, you can import them tax-free. You can do it all yourself, but honestly, I'd strongly recommend hiring a relocation company. We did it. They just deal with all the customs and the paperwork and ensure that nothing gets held up or stuck in limbo somewhere between Dover and Seville.
It's a very strange thing, packing your whole life into a van and then trusting someone else to drive it to another country. You're
and
like,
watching it drive
please
off.
let me see that stuff again.
Yeah. I'm like, where did I find that company? Healthcare. As a resident, you get full access to public healthcare system, SNS, but just like any Portuguese citizen, you'll have to register at your local Centro de Sonde. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm so terrible. And you'll get your Número de Sante, your healthcare ID basically. Here's a quick breakdown of costs. GP visit, €4.50 to €7.50. A&E visit, €15. Hospital stay, inpatient, 10 to 20 euros per day. Private consultation, 20 to 70 euros per day. Private healthcare here is excellent. It's quite expensive for a family of 4. But a lot of people do that just for peace of mind. So final thoughts on what we would do differently. We're still very much settling in. Living in a rental while we're still renovating this house.
I would probably say that's what I would do differently. Move into a house where you don't need to renovate.
Yeah.
If it was, I mean, for us, there's no way we could have financially afforded this location if we'd bought a house that was the size.
And also, we did not realise at the time that we would get electrocuted whenever we plugged anything into the house. And that in order to do the electrics, we pretty much had to pull up the floor. And we had to do the plumbing as well, so the floor had to come up. So there's so much, every one thing we had to do, like changing one thing,
So
you
we
had to change
haven't
18 others.
actually had like it's not really been like a big bougie reno, it's just been like really boring practical stuff that's brought the bill up, like the electrics and the flooring. And I mean, we could have kept the kitchen, but it was literally like falling apart.
You're right.
So it's just like...
Yeah, there's been more ups and downs than the pound to euro exchange rate. Oh, that's good, I should do comedy. It's definitely going to take a lot longer than we thought to settle, but our new life here, honestly, I don't think we've ever felt more alive. The boys, they're just thriving. Great. Rufus, how happy are you at 1 to 10? 10. They just love it here. They're so happy. They're on the beach every day. You're glowing. You're loving it. Maybe that's the
I do
tan.
love it.
Yeah,
I do love it. I feel so much more free out here, and I just feel so much more connected to nature, and I didn't realise how much that was lacking from my life, because I would always try and get outside loads and you know, do all the things that mean that you're going to feel good, but I didn't realise how much like feeling connected was lacking, and it was one of those things.
Yeah, I think if anyone is considering it, if anyone's got a seed in there, they're like, oh, maybe we should do it. I think you should start making, I mean, like I said, it took us 2 years.
And that's the hardest thing with anything, is just starting.
Yeah, it's been the best decision we ever made as a family, sure. But I think, if you do it with your eyes open, ask lots of questions, speak to expats, buckle up for all the paperwork.
And all the visits physically to places, because nothing is done online.
Just embrace the chaos, I think, because underneath all of it is the life that you've always dreamed of. It is for us anyway. There is a way out, and know there is. And no matter what your situation is, there is a way out. You can manifest that, you can do it.